Okay. Hi, Mrs. Baum's class.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good.
Good. Okay, I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited to do this lesson with you. I think this is going to be one of those like, wow, like this lesson is the bomb. Did you get it because you're Mrs. Baum's class?
Yes.
Okay, I have three favors to ask you for this lesson. You ready for favor one?
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of raising your hand and me calling on one student at a time, then only one student's voice is in the room and brain is activated. Instead, if I ask you a question and I do this, I want all of you to answer it. Can we try one?
Yeah.
Okay. What month is it?
March.
Oh, good job. How about this one? What day of the week is it?
Wednesday.
Nice. What are you going to do after this lesson?
Learn.
Oh, I was thinking you were going to go to lunch, but if you want to learn even more, even better. Okay, that you nailed it. Exactly. If I do this, you all respond at the same time. Because then think about how many voices we just had and how many people's brains we had on. Ready for favor number two?
Yeah.
Okay, the different thing we're going to do today is if I say pick it up all, you're going to read along with me. I already am a pretty decent reader. I want to make sure that you get as much reading practice as you possibly can. So if I say pick it up all, you're gonna read with me. Ready?
Strategies to find the meaning of unknown words.
That was perfect. You're gonna match my voice. Are you gonna like race car and speed read as fast as you possibly can?
No.
I don't need to hear your fastest race car reading. Are you going to go very slowly and make everybody else not go together? No, you're just going to match my voice. All right, that's 1, 2. Final thing is you are going to need a partner for this. So would you right now look at somebody that's next to you, like this would be a great partnership. One of you is going to be a 1, the other one is going to be a 2. So look at your friend that's closest to you right now. And one of you decide to be a 1, one of you decide to be a 2. Put your fingers up so I can see who your partners are. Perfect. 1, 2, 1, 2. What? We have too many 2s here. How about 1, 2, 1, 2? Beautiful. No, we got to be at the same space. Is that cool? And then do we have any with 3? Okay, that's cool. You're going to be a 2, and you just have 2 1s for your partner. And you guys are going to do the same thing, right? You're going to have 1, 1, 2, 1. Sound good? You're just going to be 3. Perfect. So then that way when I say, hey, 1s, talk to your partner, 1s, raise your hand. If I say, hey, 2, share this idea, 2s, raise your hand. You got it. Are you ready for our lesson?
Yes.
Okay, my question for you. Have you ever been reading along and all of a sudden you realize that your eyes are still covering the words. You're still reading, but you're actually thinking about pizza. Or you're thinking about what you're going to have for lunch. Or you're thinking about your soccer game. You're thinking about something completely different than what you're reading. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
Totally happened to me. That would be a clunk. Like, oh dear, I'm not actually thinking about what I'm reading. And real reading is not just your eyes moving across words. Real reading is that your eyes move across the words and you're decoding and you're thinking, right? Okay, how about this? How about have you ever been reading along and you come to a word and you have no idea what that word means? Happened to me last night when I was reading my book. Has it happened to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't think about, you don't know how to decode that word. You're like, I have never seen that word. I don't even know how to get through that word, how to say it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Sometimes I can read the word, but I'm like, I've never heard of this word. I have no idea what it means. Does that happen to you?
Yes.
Obviously. So today, we are going to talk about these clunks. That when you're reading along and you come to a word you don't know, we're going to call that a clunk. And we have to figure out how to have a strategy for figuring out a clunk. Okay, 1s, turn to your partner right now. Tell your partner what you might do if you come to a word that you don't know. Okay, 2. Does anybody a 2 wants to share what their partner said? Okay.
She said to decode it.
Oh, maybe I need to actually figure out a strategy of how to decode it. What is a strategy you know how to use to decode?
Syllable surgery.
Syllable surgery would be great. If I have this big long word and I'm like, I have no idea what that big long word is, I can use syllable surgery to decode the parts in the syllables, right? So I would say powerful. Powerful. Okay, you are working on OW this week, right?
Yeah.
What is the other sound that OW could represent? It could be
Strong.
ow or o. So if I didn't know this word, I might think this was powerful. And then I'd have to be like, is it powerful or powerful? Ooh, I think I've heard the word powerful. So step number 1, I have to figure out how to decode it. Okay, now I've decoded it. What if I don't know what it means? Do I have another 2 that could share their friend's idea?
Oh, I know it too.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
You could look at the words around it.
Oh, smart. That's what we're going to talk about today. One strategy, we have a tool for this. You could look it up in a dictionary. But would it be a very efficient or time-effective thing for me to get up and look in the dictionary every time I didn't know a word?
No.
Yeah, that would probably break my concentration and my comprehension, and it wouldn't be very effective, right? So today we're going to talk about strategies of figuring out how to know what a word means without talking to your teacher, without getting up and getting a dictionary. Are you ready?
Yes.
I love it. This is when you take a clunk and you make it a click. Click or clunk. So the first thing we have to do is just understand. We need to be thinking about what we're reading, so we recognize when we have a clunk, and then we're going to use a strategy to fix it up and make it a click. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The first thing that I can do if I don't know what a word means is I can look inside the word itself. I can look for word parts inside the word. Everybody say, inside the word.
Inside the word.
Nice, do this. Inside the word.
Inside the word.
The second strategy I can use, if that doesn't help, is I can look inside the sentence. Everybody say, inside the sentence.
Inside the sentence.
Now do it with emotion. Inside the sentence.
Inside the sentence.
If I have a clunk, I can look inside the word and inside the sentence. Help me out. I can look inside the word or inside the sentence. Sometimes the author actually defines the word. I just have to be paying attention. Sometimes the author gives me a synonym or an antonym, and I can use those clues to figure out the word. Sometimes this won't help and this won't help. And then you know what you do? Then you look outside the text. Sometimes I have to just look outside the text and use my own background knowledge, like what I already know about, to figure out that word and make a good guess. I can just maybe make a word replacement guess. So I can look inside the word, inside the sentence, or outside the text. Let's practice some, shall we? Okay, this is the inside the word. Pick it up. All. The word is defined by understanding meanings of prefixes, root words, and suffixes. Do you have a morphology bulletin board where you have prefixes, roots, and suffixes? Absolutely. You already know a ton of prefixes, a ton of roots, and a ton of suffixes. And you can use that information to help you figure out words that you don't know. Let's try one. This sentence says, pick it up, all.
Stop being illogical.
Ooh, most of you got that. Let's do syllable surgery and decode that whole word. Oh, what did I do?
You're good.
Okay. Okay, if I have two, find my vowels, I have two consonants will split. So this is ill, lodge, coal.
Illogical.
You got it, illogical. This is a schwa, it makes that it sound. Illogical, illogical. Okay, is there a part of that word that you do know the meaning of? Turn to your partner right now Tell them a part that you recognize.
Do you think it kind of maybe means
Nice! I heard ill. Everybody point to your board. Do you have ill up there?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Not.
Not. It's the prefix that means not. I heard logic. What does logic mean?
Like smart.
Yeah, like it's smart or something makes sense. If you have logic, you have good reasoning, right? And we also have this suffix al that turns other words into adjectives. So we have illogical. Could I possibly know what illogical means by looking at the parts of those words?
Yes.
Yeah, this means it makes sense. This means not. So this does not make sense. And this is an adjective. So something is illogical. It means it's not making sense. Ill, logic, oh. Like this. Does this look familiar to any of you?
Yeah.
Where you wear shorts and flip-flops on a snowy day?
Yes.
It's illogical! What would be logical on a snowy day?
Jackets, snow pants.
Boots, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we looked inside the word. What's our next step? What if it didn't help? What should we do? Look inside the sentence. Okay, pick it up all. The word explained clearly in the sentence in which it appears. That doesn't make any sense. I clearly have a mistake. It should say the word is explained. Let's try it again. Just pretend that that's is. The word is explained clearly in the sentence in which it appears. Okay. Read this one with me. Pick it up all. The tool was multifunctional because it could do 10 different things. Okay. First of all, great decoding. You got multifunctional. If I didn't look inside the word, I wanted to look inside the sentence, I could look and see if maybe I could figure out what multifunctional is by just the author defining it for me. Look very carefully and raise your hand if you think you figured out what multifunctional means. Turn and talk to your friend right now. Raise your hand if you'd like to share what your team said about multifunctional. What's your best guess about what
It has like
multifunctional is?
multiple functions, so like it can do a lot of different things.
Oh, I like it. We know multi means many, so I could have used a word part here, right? And function is like its job. So if it has multifunctional, it has many different jobs. But guess what? Even if I didn't use word parts, look what the author did for me. Whoever wrote this sentence was like, maybe they won't know what multifunctional is. And literally wrote the definition inside the sentence. 10 different things. Would this be a multifunctional tool?
Yes.
Okay, so we've looked inside the word and inside the sentence. All right, let's try another one. Sometimes the author gives us that definition by giving us a word that is a synonym. What is a synonym? Anybody? What is a synonym? Everybody that knows it, what does a synonym mean?
A word that describes a word.
Ooh, a synonym means the same. Say synonym.
Synonym.
Same.
Same.
Good. So if I said hot, what would be a synonym for hot?
Cold.
Ooh, that would be opposite. I want the same. If I said hot, what's another word that means
Warm.
hot? Warm. Or toasty. Or
Cozy.
cozy. Okay. If I said cold, what's a synonym for cold? Icy. There you go. Okay, so pick it up all.
A word with the same meaning is used in the sentence.
Okay, let's read this sentence. Pick it up all.
The man was so fatigued
And exhausted, he couldn't take another step. Ooh, I don't know what the word fatigued means. How could I look inside the sentence for another word that means the same? Raise your hand when you think you've got the word that means the same as fatigued. Everybody, what is it?
Exhausted.
Exactly. If I don't know what fatigued is, I just keep reading and I pay close attention to other words in the sentence, and I have exhausted. He's fatigued and exhausted, so I can kind of figure that out just by looking at the words around it. Let's try one more. The last way that we can do inside the sentence is if there is an antonym. Antonym means opposite. So if I have big, what's an antonym?
Small.
If I have tired, what's an antonym?
Energized.
Energized is a great one. Nice. Okay, read it with me. Pick it up.
Often signaled by the words whereas, unlike, or as opposed to.
This one is the one that had all the mistakes, and I edited it and we didn't get it. But
Sorry.
it's okay. It's totally fine. I caught some of those mistakes and I fixed them up yesterday, and now I'm like, shoot. It should say often signaled by the words whereas. So it's opposite. Let's see if we can read this one and figure out where the antonym could give us the meaning of the word. Pick it up, all.
The idle guy refused to work or be productive, so he never had any money.
I don't know what the word idle is. I've never heard idle. Should I stop and run to a dictionary?
No.
Spend 5 minutes looking?
No.
What could I do?
Look
I could look inside the word. Does this help me at all?
No.
I could look inside the sentence. Is there an antonym or a word that means opposite that might help me figure this out? Raise your hand when you think you've got it. Read the sentence again. Everyone, what do you think the opposite or antonym of idle could be?
Productive.
You got it. It is productive. Productive means when you produce a lot. That's the root word of productive. And if you don't produce a lot, he refused to work. That's kind of a definition in there, right? And he's not productive, so he's idle. What do you think an idle person would look like? Everybody show me your best idle student. Oh, exactly the opposite of what Mrs. Baum hopes to see when she looks out in the room. Show me a productive student. Oh, much better. Okay. The last one. If we can't look inside the word parts don't help us. We can't look, we looked inside the sentence, there isn't a definition, not a synonym, not an antonym. Sometimes we have to use our own background knowledge and make an inference. To infer just means I use my own thinking and the text and figure it out by myself. So let's read this one. Word meanings are not directly described but need to be inferred from context. Pick it up, all.
The teacher was expert.
Ooh, clunk. We just need to figure out how to decode this word. That's step one, right? So what could we do? Let's do some syllable surgery. This is exasperated. The word is exasperated. How many syllables? Tap it with me. Exasperated. Ooh, a lot. Say it again. Exasperated. Okay, let's read the whole sentence. The teacher was exasperated when her class would not stop talking and interrupting. Look at Mrs. Baum and let's see if she can make an exasperated look. Have you ever seen that before?
Yes.
Multiple times.
Yes.
Maybe this means that you're a class that will not stop talking and interrupting. If you make your teacher look exasperated,
We can explain.
well, I would hope so. Does she ever look like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's try it. Shall we see if we can use our strategies? Now, here's the thing. Sometimes you can use more than one. Sometimes when you have one, you're like, well, it could be word parts and the definition. You just have to be an active reader and figure it out. Read it with me. The ring was an old antique family heirloom. That word is heirloom. If I don't know what heirloom is, which one of these clunk strategies can I use? What should we try first?
Inside the word.
Does anything inside the word heirloom help us figure out its meaning?
No,
I don't see any prefixes or roots or suffixes. What's the second thing I can do?
Inside the sentence.
Inside the sentence. Did the author give us a definition or a synonym or an antonym that could help us?
No.
Once, talk to your friend, talk to your two, and tell them what you think might be going on.
It might be like a kind of like fashion family. They have like a lot of.
You think you got it? Okay. Twos. Any two want to tell me what your group was discussing?
Antique.
Antique. Oh, antique would be a synonym, right? An antique is usually something very old, and we have old to kind of help us even know antique. And then if it's something special for your family, so what would you think would be our clunk strategy?
Synonym.
It could be a synonym that was kind of defined there too, right? All right, pick it up all. The generous man shared his money easily. Twos. Talk to your partners.
I think it means.
What do you think it means?
I think it means generous. Generous thing. I think he kind of like. I think generous means like a really kind of.
All right. Do I have any ones who wants to share out what their group said?
Like it's like they easily share it. Like.
Oh, if you're generous, you share easily. Nice. Which one of these clunk strategies did you use to figure it out?
Synonym.
Everybody.
Synonym.
Synonym. Let's look at that word for a second. It's not cinnamon like a cinnamon roll or like cinnamon and sugar. It's synonym. 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 And syn means same and nym means name. So if you have a synonym, it's like a same name. Synonym.
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 Okay, you think it's synonym? Ooh, I did inference. What word did you think was a synonym? Because it's not always black and white. You can tell me your thoughts. I didn't see a synonym. I was just like, well, if he shares his money easily, that must mean that he's a good sharer, right? It must mean he's generous. All right, read me this one. The toll road charges a fee to drive on it. A toll road charges a fee to drive on it. All right, team talk, really quickly. I'm only giving you 10 seconds for this one. Tell me what strategy and what you think toll might be.
Maybe like I think it might mean like express lane. Like you might have to pay to go express lane. I think so. Like kind of like express lane. Like if you want to go. Wait, maybe it's
Okay, you know what I heard? I heard that a toll road must be a road that you pay for. Because it says it charges a fee. It kind of explains it to us right there. So if I read this and I'm like, clunk, I don't even know what that word means, I just keep reading and the definition is actually provided for me. Or a fee is the toll. It's right there as a synonym. All right, how about this one? Read it for me. The foes had not been friends from birth. Ooh. Talk to your partners. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It sounds to me like you already know this word, maybe because it was already a pattern you learned, right? What is a foe?
Enemy. An enemy.
What is a foe?
An enemy.
It's an enemy. It doesn't have that defined there. What does it use? What's the clunk strategy? An antonym. Friend or foe. It means exactly the opposite. You guys got it. Let's try the last one. Read it for me. Ready? Unreliable people are hard to count on. Ooh. Unreliable people are hard to count on. Talk to your team. Tell me which strategy you're going to mean and what you think that word is.
I think it's
Okay, 3, 2, 1. I need the very back team. Tell me what you think unreliable means and which clunk strategy you used to figure it out.
Do you think that it means like you can't
You're exactly correct. What strategy did you use?
Synonyms?
It could be. What hard to count on? I think that would maybe be an antonym. But I would use, what did the other teams use? Shout out your thoughts.
Word parts.
You used word parts? I would agree, because what does the prefix un mean? Point to it on your board.
Opposite. Not or opposite.
Not or opposite. And I heard him say the word reliable, or rely as the base word, right? If you can rely on somebody, you can count on them. And the suffix able, point to the suffix able on your board. What does it mean? Can be done. So if you're reliable, you can rely on somebody. If you're unreliable, can you rely on somebody?
No, you can't count on them.
You can't count on somebody. I'm going to pass these out while you talk to your team and tell them one person in your life that is reliable. And then if you have somebody who's unreliable, share that one as well.
My family. Someone that is reliable is my hamster. The hamster that dog.
You're welcome. Okay. Three, two, one. I heard that you're learning in history or core about colonial America. Can I give you a true confession?
Yeah.
I've never taught about colonial America. And I was a third grader and learned about colonial America a really long time ago. So I feel like I might need some background knowledge before we start our story. I might need you to fill in some information that I don't have before before we read the story. So, can you please take out your dry erase marker? On your desk, you're going to write one fact about colonial America that you think would be helpful for me to know before we get started. You could start your sentence with, one fact about colonial America is, and then you're going to share what you think is the most fascinating fact or most important fact. I know.
If I get the new link, will it do? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll be sure.
Instead of writing Colonial America, can you just write about the 13 colonies?
Sure. Colonial America is, oh look, I even have the sentence starter for you because I knew that colonial was going to be kind of a lot to manage. So feel free to use this sentence starter. If you want to have a different sentence starter, you may, but it does need to be in a complete sentence. All right, I'm going to come around and read your facts. If you have more than one, feel free to keep going until I can read everyone's fact. You guys know a lot about colonial America. We're going to do just a quick, simplified whip around. A whip around is when everyone shares their ideas and we fill the room full of facts. But because we have limited time today, we're just going to do a baby whip around with the front row. If you don't want to share your fact, you can say pass. If you're in the back row and you have a fact that you're just dying to share, I'll let you share it in just a minute. Let's do a quick whip around.
Pass. Pass.
This isn't working.
Yeah.
Be brave.
Pass.
Our whip around is not whipping.
One fact about colonial America is that slaves were traded to work on plantations.
That was a great fact. Thank you for teaching me.
Pass. Come back. One fact about colonial America is that they would work to sundown. This shows what colonial Americans do daily.
Oh my goodness, nice. From working from sun up to sundown, that's a lot of hard work.
One fact is that in colonial America they were colonized and they worked a lot.
Nice job.
One fact in colonial America is Spain took up a lot of the land.
Ooh, interesting. I did not know that.
One fact about
Colonial.
colonial America is that the first ever successful British colony was named Johnstown because the King of Britain was named John.
Oh my goodness, nice.
One interesting fact about colonial America is they all had to travel on ships to get around.
Interesting. Thank you for filling the room and giving me a little background knowledge. Would you erase your work and then put your marker away and take out the story that we're going to read today? The story we're going to read today is fiction. What does fiction mean? Turn to your friend right now, number 2, teach number 1, remind them. You might have to wonder, what does fiction mean? Oh no, fiction. Oh yeah, fiction is not real. You got it. So this is a not real story, but it's called historical fiction because it was based in a time period of history that it could have happened. Okay, before we begin, I'm going to give you a couple suitcase words. Do you know what suitcase words are? No. They're the words that are so important that I want you to carry them with you wherever you go. I want you to speak them later today and tomorrow. I want you to write these words. I want these words to be part of your vocabulary. They're your suitcase words. You take them with you whenever you go. First word is?
Vital.
Ooh, everyone?
Vital.
Vital. This is open syllable 1. Hold on tight, moving to the right. So open I says I. Vital. Vital. Everybody say the word?
Vital.
Vital means it's something so extremely important or necessary for life success. So air would be vital. What would happen if I didn't have it?
You would die.
Yes, water is vital, right? Here's the sentence in our story that vital comes. It was rumored to lead to a hidden spring near Jamestown colony, a vital source of fresh water and healing herbs. So vital means a what? Very important source of water. It is an adjective. If something is vital, I would say it is a vital resource, or it is a vital part of our day. It means needed. If it's not, what would be an antonym? Not vital, it would be extra. If it's not needed, it would be extra. Okay, on your piece of paper, on the back, I want you to write this sentence. Blank is vital to my health because, fill in the blank right now. Go ahead and write the word vital, and then you're going to do this sentence, vital. Blank is vital to my health, and you're right here in this little box. You're going to write the word vital. And then you're going to write thumbs up when you've got it. Ones. Would you lean over and tell your twos your sentence? Go ahead.
My health because water is vital to my health. Exercise is kind of like a daily thing, so it is vital.
I love it.
Water.
Okay, I feel like you all must be hungry because almost everyone's that I heard was like food or apples or lunch. Like maybe it's almost lunchtime and we're all thinking about food. All right, make sure that you have the word vital written down in that box. The second suitcase word that I want you to know is emerge. What's the word? Emerge. Emerge. What emerge means is to come out or become visible. I would emerge from the hall and come into your class, right? I would keep from hiding and I emerge. This is the sentence in our story. A massive bear emerged from the brush, its dark eyes locking on me. Dun, dun, dun. It is a verb. It's something that you would do. Everybody show, put your hands on your lap. My hands will emerge at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. It means to appear. An antonym would be to exit. My hands will exit on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Emerge. Exit. Emerge. Exit. Okay. Here's the bear that is going to emerge. Everybody write the word emerge. Go ahead and write it on that top box in your space. I'm going to give you a sentence starter. This time you're not writing it down. You're just going to think about it and then talk about it. Would you rather have a skunk or a porcupine emerge from your tent? Thinking time. Why? I have a very definite answer for this. Twos. Tell your one partner which one you'd rather have emerge and why.
Because skunks think bill sooner than bill.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I double dog dare you. Are you ready for a double dog dare?
Yeah.
I double dog dare you to use the word vital or emerge tonight at dinner time. Thinking about this for a second, how amazed your parents might be if you somehow were like, when your mom always is like, what happened at school today? And be like, well, we were just listening to a read aloud and then all of a sudden Mrs. Luna emerged. Your mom's gonna be like, what? Or you could be like, Mom, Dad, I'll eat all of my broccoli because I know how vital it is for my health. How do you think that'd go over? I think your parents would be like, who are you? Maybe you're ready for college. All right. Last thing we're going to do, we're going to read our story now. I'm going to read it to you, but when I pause, I want you to finish the sentence. I'll give you a hand motion, but your eyes will be on the paper so you won't really hear it. So you're just going to listen to my words. As I'm reading, if I pause, what are you going to do? Finish the sentence. If I'm reading and I pause, what are you going to do?
Finish your sentence.
Exactly. Here we go. In the fall of 1624, Maggie clutched the damaged, frayed map, her fingers tracing the faded lines. It was rumored to lead to a hidden spring near Jamestown Colony, a vital source of fresh water and healing herbs. But after the shipwreck, the map had become unreadable. I don't know what this big long word is, Unreadable. How could I figure it out if this is a clunk? What could I do first? Look.
In the word.
I could look inside the word. Everybody say it with me. I could look
Inside the word.
Okay, in the word unreadable, are there any prefixes, suffixes, or root words that you already know?
Yes.
What else? Able and read. And we already know un means not. So unreadable would be not able to read. Okay, let's keep reading. We have to keep going, she told her younger brother Ben. The settlers were running out of resources, and winter would be harsh. They pushed through the dense Virginia forest, climbing over fallen logs and ducking under low branches. Nice job. As the sun dipped lower, Maggie's stomach twisted. Wow, let me go back and fix my clunk. Maggie's stomach twisted. What if they were lost? At last, they reached the rocky ridge. Just as the map indicated. Ooh, that's a clunk. Just as the map, let's break it apart into syllables. Indicated. Everybody say indicated.
Indicated.
I don't know what indicated means. What could I do? Should I run to the dictionary?
No.
Should I run to Mrs. Baum?
No. Yeah.
What could I do? I could look
Inside the word.
Is there anything in indicated that would help me?
Yeah.
In, that is a prefix, but I don't really know if that will help me in this situation. What else could I do? I could look
Inside the sentence.
Everybody, I could look
Inside the sentence.
Okay. At last they reached the rocky ridge, just as the map indicated. What do you think indicated means? Is there a definition or a synonym or an antonym? I think I'm going to have to look outside the text and use my own knowledge. What do you think maps usually do?
Show you where to go.
They show you where to go. Guess what? Indicated just means show you where to go. So this means just like the map indicated, just like the map said where to go. Cool. Put your finger right here. Next line. But the spring was nowhere in sight. But Ben tugged her sleeve. Look! Through the trees, water shimmered in the clearing. Relief flooded Maggie until the forest grew unnervingly silent. All right, I'll read, and then when I pause, you're going to finish the sentence. Then came the sound of footsteps, but not human ones. A massive bear emerged from the brush, its dark eyes locking onto them. Maggie barely breathed. Stay calm. Back away slowly. Just as they moved, the bear stepped forward, sniffing the ground. Maggie's gaze flicked to the spring. Bright green herbs lined the edge. The bear was more interested in them than in the children. Woo! Good thing. What's the bear more interested in?
Herbs.
Herbs. And the fresh water of the spring, right? Ben grabbed her arm. Maggie, we need to go. She hesitated. They had come too far to leave empty-handed. If they were careful, they would gather what they needed and slip away. Give me a thumbs up if you think that this is a good plan or a bad plan. There's a bear there, but she's like, it's okay, we can keep going. Lots of thumbs down. I would just get out. I would not be like, I'm going to ignore the bear and get my herbs anyway. Let's see what they do. But as she took a cautious step forward, a sharp crackling noise echoed from the woods behind them. Maggie's breath caught. Something or someone was watching them. Dun, dun, dun! Okay. My palms are a little sweaty. Right now, with your team, tell me who you think or what you think is watching them.
Me. The bear.
Go.
How I
You think another bear? That would be bad. Mama bears are not cool when their babies are around. All right, 3, 2, 1. What I'd like you to do right now, we only have just a couple more seconds. I want you to find one clunk word in this passage. Maybe it's a word that you don't know. Maybe it's a word that you think your team might not know. You're going to circle that clunk word. And then you are going to use your clunk bookmark to look inside the word, inside the sentence, outside the word. See if you can figure out what your clunk is, what it means, because in just a second you're going to get to teach your teammate what your clunk word is. If you know all these words, pick a word that you think maybe someone else in your team wouldn't know. Ooh, good word. Ooh, I like this.
Cautious, I know what it means, and I'm just going to choose
Ooh, I like this. Here. Pick it up. If you know all the words, pick one that you think a friend might not know. Okay, you have 1 minute. Once you are going to teach your word to your partner. You're going to tell them what you think the word means and what clunk strategy you used to figure it out. Go.
I'm going to do
Okay, we got to teach your friend.
I didn't hesitate. I didn't shimmer. Shiny. You don't have to put there. I think it means a force group. Unexpectedly means a I think it means Wait, when did you working? I don't know, because I'm guessing it's the baby turns up and then the mom was peeking out and saying, and then the mom
Okay, twos, it's your turn. You have only 30 seconds to share your new. Did you already do it? Oh, if twos haven't gone, you have just a couple seconds. Tell your friend your word. I'll be done. Make wash up quick. All right, 3, 2, 1. I am impressed. I heard some really, really good words that were clunks that probably would be clunks. And I also heard some really good fix-up click strategies. I heard some really good conversations about, well, I looked inside the word, it didn't help me, so now I'm going to look inside the sentence. Sometimes looking inside the sentence doesn't help too, right? What do you do then?
Look
Outside the text. You have to look outside the text into your own knowledge. Is this a strategy that you could do for just this story, just today?
No.
Is this a strategy that you could do anytime?
Yes.
Every time? You don't know a word? What's coming up in the next couple weeks that's kind of a big deal? CMAS. On CMAS, do you think there might be some words that you don't know?
Yes.
I guarantee it, because they're going to try to give you words to figure out. On CMAS, can you access a dictionary?
No.
No. Can you look up the word on your computer?
No.
Can you go talk to your teacher?
No.
Can you ask your friend?
No.
What could you do?
Use one of the CLUNK strategies.
You could use one of the CLUNK strategies. Absolutely. And the more you practice this, the easier it gets. And the more you practice this, the more your brain will start noticing that the author often defines it. There is often a synonym or an antonym in the sentence. Or you already know so many word parts that you can use that knowledge to help you figure out the word. Cool? All right, you guys did amazing today. I would give you a 10